दोस्तों, इस समय मिडिल ईस्ट के जो हालात हैं वो पूरी दुनिया के लिए चिंता की बात है। हमास और इजराइल की खूनी जंग ने पूरी दुनिया का ध्यान अपनी तरफ खींचा है। इजराइल ने फिलिस्तीन से हमास के अस्तित्व को लगभग खत्म कर दिया है। यह सिर्फ उन्हीं को प्रभावित नहीं कर रहा है, यह पूरी दुनिया पर अपना प्रभाव डाल रहा है। पहले हमास ने एक बर्बरतापूर्वक कदम उठाते हुए इजराइल के 1100 निर्दोष नागरिकों की हत्या कर दी। बदले की कार्रवाई में इजराइल ने फिलिस्तीन के गाजा में घुसकर लगभग 35,000 लोगों को मौत के घाट उतार दिया। अब तक मारे जा चुके हैं इतने लोग। हमास का सफाया लगभग हो चुका है। अब इसका सबसे ज्यादा प्रभाव पड़ा है वहां के रहने वाले बासिंदों पर, वहां के लोगों पर, जो वहां से विस्थापित हो रहे हैं, भाग रहे हैं। बहुत सारे तो जो मुस्लिम देश हैं जो उनको शरण देने से भी बच रहे हैं। कौन किसके साथ है यह पता करना मुश्किल हो गया है। जो सऊदी अरब पहले इजराइल का कट्टर विरोधी हुआ करता था, वो अब इजराइल को लेकर इजराइल के साथ समझौते कर रहा है अपने व्यापार की दिशा में। तो ऐसी बहुत सारी चीजें हैं, और अगर इन चीजों को हमें और अच्छी तरह से समझना है तो डॉक्टर निशा कांतोजा विदेश मामलों के जानकार हैं, उनकी यह बात हमें ध्यान से सुननी चाहिए।
अगर मैं बात करता हूँ जियो पॉलिटिकल सिचुएशन की और एक सिंपल भाषा में अगर हम बात करते हैं तो जो एक पैराडॉक्स मिडिल ईस्ट में बना हुआ है, और यू कैन से अ मिस्ट्री ऑफ मिडिल ईस्ट, इनकंसिस्टेंसी ऑफ मिडिल ईस्ट, दैट्स वेरी अलार्मिंग। अब अगर आप देखते हैं जस्ट आवर्स आफ्टर द 3 US सर्विस मेंबर्स ऑफ द died in a drone attack on a military outpost in Jordan, उसी उस इंसिडेंट के बाद एक फेमिलियर कोरस में स्टार्ट हो गया, एंड दे आर कॉलिंग फॉर वी शुड स्टार्ट बॉम्बिंग फॉर द ईरान। नाउ Biden administration has been for week been trying to use as a limited approach to stop attacks by the Iran-based militant targeting the US service members. जहां तक अगर आप देखें तो ये चीजें सारी कंसंट्रेट हो रही है, एंड दे आर ट्राइंग टू फिगर इट आउट दैट दीज थिंग्स आर पॉपुलेटेड, और दिस काइंड ऑफ एक्टिविटीज आर पॉपुलेटेड बाय सम ऑफ द कंट्रीज व्हिच आर बेसिकली बेस्ड इन मिडिल ईस्ट, एंड Iran has been placed on the number one. So I mean, there is a need, instead of alligating and farming and targeting, there is a need to the question is how to resolve this big Middle East paradox, or this mystery, or this inconsistency which is going on there in the Middle East. अगर अगर हम बात करते हैं इजराइल और उसकी पैलेस्टाइन इजराइल कॉन्फ्लिक्ट, which as of me, I have been working for a long time, but I've never seen such more dire or riper of a resolution or conflict ever happened. Now, with the अगर हम बात करते हैं with the benefit of the long memories, we can confidently say that never in the history of the Palestine-Israel tragedy has the situation as it is of today. But there has been greater clarity about the essential components of a future peace settlement also. So there हर चीज के दो पहलू हैं अगर आप देखते हैं. What sets apart the recent autocracy event, that's the horrible Hamas attack on the Israel, and which killed around 1,100 people, and ongoing belligerent Israel response on the Gaza, which has killed around 25,000 Palestine, is that they have responded deep wounds of both the people, for Israel Jew of the Holocaust, and basically for the Palestinians, the Nakba, or the catastrophe. Both people are in a psychological turmoil, and emotions are exceptionally raw. So sooner or later, अगर आप देखते हैं the decades of the suffocating the Israeli occupation, there was bound to be seismic explosion, which has to be happened from the Palestine side, even not Palestine side, basically from the Hamas, but not necessarily it is in the form it took. Hamas could have chosen instead to emulate the non-violent border protests it had itself, or orchestrated some 5 years earlier, but to greater effect this time in the light of resourceful thwarting of the Israel electronic surveillance barrier. I think had they come unarmed in the thousand to explain and not to kill Palestine pleas for freedom and equality, which could instantly have been you can say, broadcast across the land and further afield, and could have a profound impact on the political climate in Israel. So these are some of the question mark which is alarming. And now by choosing a violent path instead, Hamas instantly nullified its long-term strategic goal to be accepted by the world. It's very clear, as it's a legitimate interlocutor in any discussion about the future. They have created a walls, and in fact, the question is not about the Hamas or the Gaza or the no. The question is revolving around the humanitarian, the people who have been killed innocently, the children who have been killed innocently, and the massive citizens who have been displaced from their original location. So these are some of the things which is now a big question mark. Instead, so we can see that the Hamas has lost its footprints in is Palestine or the Gaza, and in the vindictive reflex response, the Israel War Cabinet likewise abandoned the strategy been that have been you can say pursed for years of bolstering the Hamas rule in Gaza to forestall the prospect of Palestine state on the West Bank and Gaza. Now, the new aim which we see is to destroy very vestige of Hamas was not the outcome of rigorous strategic thinking, but a spontaneous lashing out by the supposed guardian of Israeli securities. The new goal is not just still thought out, it's unattainable, although it is not beyond the Israeli leaders to keep moving the goals. So, if you see that Israel was also not having any choice in the light of the new era in which the state has Israel has acquired official relationship with the growing number of Arab countries. A robust, inclusive regional response could potentially have been swiftly devised. So now there, if you see the whole Middle East under the shadow of, you can say, black shadow, not clear, having a very blurred picture, what is going on, who is supporting whom, and whether how the Houthis are interlinked, how the Hezbollah is interlinked, how the ground fighters of the Hamas are linked. So these are some of the questions which are there, which needs to be minutely seen with the naked eyes. And only then the situation, I think, would be in a position to, you can say, uh, I mean, it can be only solved. Now, the common fallacy that the Palestine are a defeated people and the Palestine issue could be sidelined has been exposed as a nonsense. It has always been there. Now, second, the related illusion that the conflict could be managed or content has been shattered. It cannot be. Now, it has to be resolved. For otherwise, there will be more explosion, and there the resulting toxins continuing to overflow into the rest of the world. So it will start spreading. You don't see that it's basically the war between the Israel and the Hamas. The what I am trying to say that it will the toxins are started populating, and they will move sooner or later. They will be moving entire to the world. And there is no way of resolving this conflict without the Israel fully ending its decade-old occupation of the West Bank and the seas of Gaza, so that the Palestinians may be free to exercise their self-determination and live in a freedom and dignity. So, for the future, if you see, the whole needs to be reinvented. Peace between the sovereign states can be only achieved through a cooperative relationship between the Arabian Peninsula and the Levant. This is only the course of action to end the nightmare of this violence and the brutality which is happening.